Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies. We're going to talk about who I think the Saints should hire for the head coaching job this time around. Obviously, we went with Dennis Allen last time. Did not work out. Darren Rizzi became the interim coach, and now we're back at square one. So I'll go through my top 3 choices for the job, really top 4 choices for the job. But before we do that, man, well, my camera's not working right now, so that's why the camera's not on, but we'll get that fixed for the next video. Subscribe to the channel. Click the links in the description, man. The Discord, please join that. We're talking Saints football and all type of stuff. But let's get into these coaches. Also, mock draft dropping tomorrow. Monday mock draft. Just be prepared for that. But anyways, let's get to these coaches. First off, we'll just start with Aaron Glenn. Obviously a former player, played for the Saints for a season as well. Was the Saints defensive back coach. Been coaching in this league a long time. Been a player in this league for a long time. And obviously, he's just been a part of NFL for such a long time. We can look at his playing career. Went to Purdue, 1990. Then went to NFL. I think he played like 15 years. Something crazy he played in NFL. Let's go to scroll down. Yeah, from 94 to 08, man. He had a really, really long NFL career. So obviously players are going to understand that he understands what it's like to be a player in this league. And he's not just talking, word of mouth. He's been through these things. He's experienced these things. And we have some young corners on the roster. So I think that'll be a good look if you got Kool-Aid, Alontae Taylor, whoever we may add into that secondary if we got Aaron Glenn. So I do think there's some positives on that sort. Never been a head coach before. If we go look at some cons, but we won't jump into that just yet. But as a defensive coordinator, man, with the Lions, he's done a really, really good job. Obviously, that game against Washington wasn't the best showing. For him, but that's all right. Like, you can't judge him off of one game. Like, if you judge a guy off of one game, then it would never be a head coach in the NFL. He's done a really, really good job with the Lions. Like, they've been injured from Hutchinson to even Alexander Anzalone. Like, their secondary has been hurt. He's done with a lot of injuries, major injuries on that defense. Like, really, really key guys, really, really good guys, all Pro Bowl guys. So for him to still put the Lions in position to win games with that defense, with a high-power offense, so the defense really always on that field, he's done a really good job. Obviously, has ties to the Saints organization and things like that. So I think it'll be a good hire. I would not be mad at this hire whatsoever. Actually, none of these guys I would be mad at the hire if we hire these guys. I mean, obviously, some cons. Never been a head coach before. My biggest con is he's not an offensive guy. I really would want an offensive guy at head coach. So if like I said, offensive guys just that's the wave, man. Let's be honest. Get an offensive guy, you get a good quarterback, and shit starts to happen. I mean, look at the Washington doesn't have an offensive guy. They have Dan Quinn, but I mean Cliff Kingsbury, who's going to be on this list as well, is their offensive guy. So that's worked out really well with them. And I guess we can jump right into Cliff. Obviously Cliff has been a head coach, so that's a pro. Maybe it's a pro, maybe it's a con. Also played in this league, played in the CFL as well. So he's been around a lot of football, man. Quarterbacks, coach, you can look at his coaching resume right here. Obviously, was the head coach of the Cardinals. I'm not the biggest Kyler Murray fan, so I think he got the short end of the stick. No pun intended right there. And then he went to USC for a year, and now he became the offensive coordinator at Washington. Obviously, at USC, he's named a senior offensive analyst. Obviously, he had a bigger role in that. I mean, he's also had Caleb Williams there, #1 pick. End up with Jaden Danielson. Obviously, Jaden Danielson has a crazy, crazy rookie year. Their offense is going crazy. Like Damani Brown, Terry McLaurin, all those guys. Zach Ertz has a resurgence. Eckler, Brian Robinson, all those guys are looking good. Offensive line's playing well. That offense is looking really, really well. So, I mean, getting him, a guy that's coaching the league, had one chance. Can he get another chance? It's not over after one chance. I know we can kind of say this is kind of the same role as Dennis Allen. A guy that got a chance, a guy that wasn't good, a guy that didn't win. And you're going to give him another chance. I think the scenario is a little bit different. But I understand the people that say, it's kind of the same. And this guy had a chance, and we can't forget the past that he had, and it did not turn out well. So I'm not going to pretend or be biased towards anybody, because he definitely had a chance, and it definitely did not work. I want to see if I can find his record with the Cardinals. Obviously, 5-10, 8-8, 11-6. And then 4-13, and he gets fired. That's a 28-37 record, 43%. That's very Dennis Allen-ish. I'm gonna just be honest. So maybe the second stint will go different if he was to get hired by the Saints or anybody else. But I don't think he wants to get hired, to be honest. I think he wants to wait until a perfect situation. I don't think the Saints is that perfect situation. Next up on the list, we're gonna go with Joe Brady. Now, obviously, Joe Brady was a hot name on the market. Went to LSU, so obviously I'm a lot familiar with Joe Brady already. Is the offensive coordinator with the Bills right now. Obviously, the Bills are playing a game against the Baltimore Ravens at this moment. So the Bills offense has been wonderful this year. I think they've really overachieved after letting go Diggs in the offseason, having young receivers in the room, wide receiver room, bringing in Amari Cooper, who hasn't really turned out well. James Cook, who I thought his job was going to be in jeopardy. He's had a resurgence of a year. He's been really, really good. Then Josh Allen, obviously playing at the MVP level. Obviously, Joe Brady is a name that's been thrown around. He also failed in the NFL in my opinion. He was with the Panthers, and it did not go well. It did not go well after leaving LSU. He went to the Panthers and did not go well. Obviously, he was under Sean Payton as well. 2017, 2018. He was under Sean Payton a little bit. Sean Payton didn't think he was ready to go. Obviously, he went to LSU and showed he kind of was ready. Then he came back to the NFL and he kind of showed why he wasn't ready. Then he went to Buffalo, quarterbacks coach, interim offensive coordinator, became the offensive coordinator. Now he's doing an amazing job. And I think he should strike while the iron's hot. If he can get a head coaching job, he should do it right now and see what he has. He's young, 35, a lot of creativity, and things like that. So I would really understand that one. I would understand that one as well. I think he's probably last on my list if I have to rank him. I'll probably rank him at the end. And we'll go from there. But I think Joe Brady would be a good hire. I won't be mad at any of these hires. I won't be mad at any of these hires at all if we got Joe Brady, Kingsbury, or if we got Aaron Glenn. Now, last on the list, I don't have his page pulled up, but that's gonna be Dan Rizzi. That's gonna be Dan Rizzi. Now I'll explain why I want Dan Rizzi as the head coach, because this is my pick. This is personally my pick. Dan Rizzi. Only if we do these things that I'm about to say. Aaron Glenn, I think he wants to go to the Jets, to be honest. Kingsbury, he's not bringing Jaden Daniels with him. And Joe Brady, he's damn sure not bringing Josh Allen with him. So having those offensive guys with Derek Carr, be for real. Now, if Kingsbury think Rattler has it and wants to work with Rattler because he's closer to, a younger quarterback, just got out the college system, can probably do some things, with that Oklahoma. So he's run kind of that college-style offense that Jaden Daniels is running to perfection in Washington right now. Then Kingsbury will move up my list. But I think Aaron Glenn wants to go to the Jets. Kingsbury has a chance. Joe Brady, I don't think he's quite ready to lead a team. I think he's a great offensive coordinator right now, but to be a leader, somebody that's 35, and you got guys like DeMario in the room, maybe Cam Jordan in the room, guys your age. I don't know if they're ready to listen and bow down, to put this in bad terms. Obviously, you're not going to bow down to your coach, but, respect the coach being in the same age and things like that. So that'll be difficult, in my opinion, for him to do at this moment. But do think he's a really good coach. But back to Dan Rizzi. Obviously, he's a special team coach. So he's not really focused on offense or defense, and I kind of like that from my head coach if he's not an offensive guy. Like when Dennis Allen talked about offense, it really pissed me off because I don't want to hear about you talking about offense. Like, I'm not going to lie. So if we get a special teams coach and we get a really good OC and a really good DC, I think they're going to work out really, really well. It kind of reminds me of Coach Ho at LSU. You had Aranda at one point, and you had Joe Brady. Like, you're just managing the game. You're the rah-rah guy. I think Dan Campbell does a really, really good job of that right now. Let Ben Johnson do his thing. Let Aaron Glenn do his thing. And I'm just going to be the guy that gets everybody ready to go and things like that. Obviously, they just lost, so it's kind of a bad timing. But still, you get the point. Like, Dan Campbell's the rah-rah guy. He's a crazy guy. He's going to get y'all amped up. You're going to follow him. He's a good leader. But your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator are very, very important. I think Rizzi has that Dan Campbell in him. He's going to be the rah-rah guy. He's going to be the energy guy. But you got to get a really good OC and a really good DC to put around him. And I also want him to be the head coach just because I think we're going to suck. And if we're going to suck, I think you can hire Rizzi and literally fire him in a year. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think if you're going to rebuild, if you're going to be bad, just let Rizzi run the show. And I think you have to cut weight, though. If you do this, my plan is this is the red button plan. If you hire Rizzi, I think you get rid of Derek Carr, you get rid of Cam Jordan, you get rid of Demario Davis, you get rid of Tyrann Mathieu, you get rid of a lot of players that are on this roster that are loved by fans, NFL legends, NFL vets, but you have to get rid of it and get ahead of this. So you're going to take a lot of hit and dead cap and things like that, but oh well. You have to start getting rid of some of these players and get these numbers off the books. And maybe Rizzi gets 1 or 2 years of being mediocre and bad, and that just sucks. And obviously he's going to try to win, and obviously the team's going to try to put a product out there to win. But if you're going to, start the rebuild, I don't think any of these coaches, like Kingsbury, he's not coming for a rebuild. So he's going to want to keep Cam Jordan. He's going to want to keep Demario Davis. I don't think that's the best interest of the team because Kingsbury knows if he comes into this might be his last chance to be the head coach. Joe Brady, this is his first impression. He may never get a chance again. Aaron Glenn, as the black coach, if he fucks up, we saw what Mayo got. He got 1 year and out in New England. So I don't think those guys are going to come into this bad situation. I think the Saints are. Now, Rizzy, I don't think he gives a shit. I think he's going to try to win whatever you give him a chance with, and I think that'll be a good chance for him. And to give him a couple years, and if it works out, great. If it doesn't, great. Then you wait 2 years for better candidates, in my opinion, because I think the top candidate right now is Ben Johnson. He doesn't want to come here. So if he doesn't want to come here, I don't really want to, just hire a mid-tier guy just because. If you're going to hire a mid-tier guy, I think we're going to keep Rizzy and go from there. Like I said, but we have to, if we keep Rizzy, it's not a win now moment. It's a rebuild. Let Derek Carr go, let Cam go, even let DeMario go. I know it sucks. Let Tyron go. Trade some of these guys. Get whatever you can get, 6th rounders, 5th rounders, whatever it is. Get some cheap players on the roster. Get some young guys on that roster. Rizzy can, galvanize them, energize them, and things like that. And then we'll see what the hell happens. That's really what I want us to do. Like I said, the Rizzy, it's a caveat. If we get Rizzy, we need to blow that shit up. Now, if we're not going to blow it up, if we're going to try to win and try to do things like that, then Aaron Glenn and Kingsbury are probably my top 2 options right now. Either one I would be happy with. I like Kingsbury just because he's an offensive guy. So I would love an offensive guy. That's just, everyone will love an offensive guy. And the defense just kind of figure itself out. You can hire a defensive coordinator. That's really, really good. We've seen it all over the NFL with Vance Joseph, with the Broncos, with Flores, with the Vikings, and you got Salah, who's I don't know where he's going, but he's another good defensive coordinator going to be available. So you can find a good DC. It's hard to find a good offensive guy. So we'll see. We'll see what we do, but that's just my opinion on the head coaching search. If I had to rank them, like I said, this is my ranking. This is my ranking of who I think the top candidate is. I'll do that first. I think it's Aaron Glenn. I think it's Kingsbury. I think it's Rizzy. Then I think it's Joe Brady. You can flip those 2 at the end. Doesn't really matter to me. And you can possibly flip those 2 at the beginning. But that's my ranking from best to worst. And I think now what I think the Saints should do, but obviously all of these comes with caveats, should be Rizzy, just because I think we should tank and blow it up. Kingsbury, offensive guy. Aaron Glenn, and then Joe Brady again at the end. Just because I'm not really sold on Joe Brady just as of yet. Young, still has time. I think in the future maybe, but it is what it is. That's just my opinion on the coaching search. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Who should we hire? Why should we hire him? Things like that. Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, this is Boo Tragedies, and I'm out.